Yeah, good morning, everyone. So, last session we discussed about routing. So, routing is for building single page applications. So, what you can do every day, what we were doing earlier, which component we were practicing, that component we are keeping in startup. Now, this time, only one component will be in the startup. Only one component will be in the startup and we can access and use from any location. Any component we can access and we can display. That is actually done by using routing concept. How to create an application using routing? This entire zip file I uploaded into Classroom. Entire project zip file I uploaded once verify. Now in this routing concept, some more points are there, we will see. So to configure route, what you have to do is we need to go to app routing module. In this routing module, you need to define the path. So which component to be delivered and what should be the request. You need to access and use them. Now here, I will give a simple process. Let's run this project. Actually, this project is Amazon. Huh? Yes, yesterday we created another project, Amazon. So in this project, while creating, it asked, do you want routing? And we added routing. When you add routing, this one routing module will be added. In the routing module, you have to configure the routes. So what components are there and how to request them? In this wildcard routes, generally people call wildcard routes. Wildcard routes means what? Wildcard route is if user is not requesting anything, then which one to deliver. And if user is requesting something and it is not available, then this is double asterisk. So this indicates which component to deliver when user is not requesting any content. This indicates what to deliver when user is not requesting any path, right? Now we will see how this all process works. Actually, for displaying all the categories, yesterday we designed only jewelry category. In the components, in the jewelry category, it is injecting the service and it is accessing only jewelry related products and it is displaying them. Same type of logic we need to implement here. I will create a simple hierarchy now. It is compiling, right? Right. So now what we are doing is let's launch this project. Localhost. Yeah. This is home. And when user selects home, we want to display all products. When user selects jewelry, the jewelry related products must come. It is going to display those products. Similarly, every category related products must come. When user selects men's, women's, and electronics like that. Others you can design, others you can create because logic is same. For example, now when user selects home, it should get all the products and display all the products. Then what we do? We will go to here, we will go to home. In the home, we are going to inject the service. So first we need to inject contract. What is the contract? Fake store product contract. We are importing the contract. Next, what? We need to import service. What is that? Fake store service. We need to import service and contract. Now we need to create products. Products is an what type? Fake store contract type array. And we need a constructor. So we need implements ng on init. On init we have to import. And we need ng on init. ng on init. So we need to implement that. And here we need constructor. Into the constructor, we need to inject service. So private, what is it? Data. What is the service type? Fake store service. And what we need to do? This dot data dot. We have get products. Get products is going to return all products. And it uses a subscribe. So it gets the data. And this dot what? Products is equal to whatever the data. This is a simple data we are fetching, and all the products information must be displayed in the UI. Let's go to HTML, and here we will design a simple div. Just class as a class. This class is dflex flex wrap. Okay, and here we want to generate a div, and this we will put a just ng for let item of collection. Collection is products. I want to display image. Just image src will be. So this is item dot image. Just width I given as some 100 and height also 100. All the images will be displayed here. It is going to show all the images and display. Home is going to get all the images. All images will come like this. I am not displaying in an organized way. Your wish. You put all your knowledge of Bootstrap styles and keep them. I just keep all these at one place. Now, similarly, when user clicks on jewelry, only jewelry products will come. It should get only the jewelry products and display. And user clicks on home, only all products will come. Now, what should happen here is when user like this, you write logic for men's, women's, and electronics, and every category you write. Here, what should happen is when user is displaying all products, for every product, I will do one thing. For every product below, so I will put a paragraph. Here, I will put a button. In this button, so actually, this is a link. First, I will put like a button, like details. Now, what should happen here is under every product, there is details. Under every product, there is details. I am just using for every product. So let's keep class as a margin 2. Okay, margin 2 or 3, so that you can easily see the space arranged between them. All directions, it will have good space. All these products are present. Now user can display any specific product. When he clicked in the home page, all are coming. Now when user clicks details, this product detail should come. We need to access that particular product details. That means we need to navigate from here to another component. In general websites, what they do, in general websites, traditional websites, they create a details page. And when user clicks on details, they will navigate from this page to details page. And the details page will display the details. It is going to display those details. That is how generally we create. That means user clicks on details, it will get the details. But now I want the details to display in a new screen here itself, right? I want to display in a new screen. That means without disturbing the existing screen. Okay. Here itself, it should open, right? That means the details should open in the same section area. At the top, we are having a header area. So we are not navigating from one page to another. We are just accessing that information here and displaying. Now, when user clicks details, I need a details component to come. Then what we have to do is, first, we need to create a details component. Let's create a details component. Let's go to the components, open in terminal, ng generate component. So this is Amazon details and skip this. So we are creating a details component. You can see Amazon details component is coming. Now in this, for this details component, we need to set path. Let's go. Every component you want to access, it must be defined in routing. That means you go to app routing module. In app routing module, make sure that you kept wildcard routes at the end. That is the better way, right? Next, here I am adding another path. What is the path here? The path is details. And which component to come? The component is Amazon details. Amazon details component should come. Now I want the home page here. So in this must be clickable. On click, it should navigate to details component. So it is not a button, it is a link. That link should navigate to details. That means I will change this to a link anchor. And what is that? Details. However, you can make appearance look like button, no problem. What you can do, you can put a class btn some primary like this. Now this anchor have router link. It have a router link. Router link, it should navigate to which location? Details. That's it. Now you see here what happens is, this is the details page that comes. All the products will be here. Now I click on details, then automatically details will come. But here very important, in many interviews they ask this question. In many interviews you will get the question. They will ask what is absolute path and what is relative path. Even in general web applications also they ask. What is absolute path, relative path? In routing also it is very important. Absolute path, relative path is nothing but currently, observe here, what is our current path? Localhost in that home. Our current path is home. Now when I click details, this path will be added to, it will be added to the existing path. That means what it will do is it will add home/details. That is not correct. It is not home/details. It is only details. Only details. Every path will be added to existing path. That is called relative. We don't want relative. Clean up and put a new path. Details is a new thing to come. So that means now you see here, we click on details. Details is added to home and it is saying not found. Obviously not found because details is not a part of home. Details is a separate. That means absolute path. How to define absolute path? This is important. So route paths are configured in two ways. One is we call as relative path. It is written like this: a router link and is equal to, suppose I said details. So this is relative path. Okay. Now second one is absolute path. Absolute path is written like this: anchor, router link, and here /details. This is absolute path. What is difference with just slash? What will happen? Actually, absolute path is nothing but absolute path removes the existing and adds the current. Right? So what is relative path? Relative path adds to existing path. That is the difference between absolute and relative. So whenever you write the links, you should be very careful because the route path you mentioned, it will be using the existing path. You need to make it use as absolute path. So that we have to write like this. Now you see here. So here I will go here. See, now I will change this here. Home. It will get me all the details. I will change that now. How to change? It is not details. It is what? /details. Now you can see here. I click on details. So I will refresh this. Yeah. And I click on details now. It will directly go to the details page. It will directly go to the details page. Now what we want to do is here we want to collect the product details and display. That means how this details component knows which product it has to display. Currently it is navigating, no problem. But what we have to do is when user clicks on, see, so I click on home and I click on home. When user clicks on details, this product details must be sent. That means we need to transport information about this product to details. Details have to collect that information and display. How we can transport data? So this is important. So this is paths. These are types of paths. Next important, in routing, you will come across with a concept called, we call this concept as, this is route parameters. Route parameters are nothing but every route can use parameters. Actually, route parameters are used to transport data from one component to another. We can transport data from one component to another by using what? Route parameters. We can transport data from one component to another by using route parameters. So how to define these route parameters? Actually, parameters are defined. Parameters are defined in path. How to do that path? It is expecting details. Details is expecting the ID of the product that you want to display. How to get information about any product? You saw the fake store. You can get information about any product by using the product ID. That means you have product/ID, right? Now what you can do is here, the details is expecting a parameter. Parameters are passed like this: /:, parameter name. Parameter name is ID. You can pass multiple parameters just by using again /:. Suppose name. You can pass again /:, like price. Any number of parameters you can pass. But actually, to filter a product, only ID is enough. Your wish, you can pass any parameter. You can define any parameter. Now, which component it should deliver? So on this path, which component it should get? We will use details component. The details component should be delivered. Okay, this is just syntax. Now, this is how we define parameters. If a route is defined with parameters, it is compulsory to pass the parameters. We need to pass the parameters. Actually, parameters are passed in URL. In URL like this, how they pass: http localhost 4200 / what? Details /ID /name /price. Like this we can pass. If it is one parameter, you can pass one. If it is many parameters, you can pass many. And remember here, every parameter is mandatory. You cannot ignore. If route path is expecting 3 parameters, you must pass 3 parameters. There is no optional parameters. Every route parameter is compulsory. So that means now what happens into this details component? You are sending these 3 details. Now in that component, you can collect the details. How do we collect the details? We need to access the parameters and use them. That means actually what we are doing here, it's very simple process happening in the background. What is the process is, see, what is the process happening here is I have a component. This component is home. So we have a home component defined. Yeah, this is home component. Now we have another component. This is which component? Details. This is details component. Now what we are doing, from home component to details component, you are transporting an ID. Here you are sending an ID, someone. That means now details component is getting that ID 1. Now what you have to do is, we have to collect that parameter and use it in details. In details that belongs to that and display. That means how to access the route parameters and use them. So we are transporting parameter. Now we need to collect the parameter and use it. To collect the parameter, actually we have to use route parameters. Route parameters can be accessed and used in any component you can access and use in any component by using activated route service. We have to use a activated route service. So you have to use a activated route service. Service means, where we have to do constructor. In the constructor, we have to we have to inject private route. It is of what type? Activated route. What is advantage of this activated route is through this dot route, you can access actually this dot route. It uses an option called snapshot. It uses a property called snapshot. Snapshot is to capture details. Capture what details? It has to capture parameters. Then actually you passed parameters na. These parameters are in the memory in the form of map. Map contains key and it contains value. So the parameters are in the memory in the form of key and value. That means the key is the parameter name. Understood? And the value is what value you passed into it. It is a parameter map actually. Parameter is a map. Into that map, that means this is ID, this is TV, what price. These values are stored in a map. We need to access that map. That means we have to use param map. Param map, that is a parameter map. And I hope you know already we discussed in TypeScript how to access the keys from a map. How to access keys from a map. The keys are accessed from a map using get. Get which key ID. That means you can access that. You have get all. You can access all the keys and use them. So 3 steps are there. Configure the parameters. Second step, pass the parameters. Third step, collect the parameters and use them. That means we are configuring the parameter. First step, we are configuring parameter. Second step, we are passing the parameter. Third step, we are collecting and using the parameter. Let's do these 3 things. Let's go to here. Details, go to router module. Here, details is expecting parameters /:. What is the parameter ID? ID is product ID. Now, when user clicks in the home, when user clicks this details, it is expecting parameter. Then parameter, we have to pass /. And what is the parameter to be passed? Here we have to pass the item ID, na? Item related ID. So here I am using a binding expression that is item dot what ID. I am using item related ID. That is the parameter we are passing. That means which item they clicked, that item related ID will come. Observe carefully now in the home page. When user clicks on details of any product, that ID will be passed here. And component details is working fine. Component details is working fine. You see here, it is accessing that and it is displaying here. I can put like, so how to go back? To go back again, I have to click home. Na? Instead of that, we have an habit of writing even like this. Like what we do is here at the bottom, that means where it is in the details, in the components details HTML page. Currently it is showing details now. Here temporarily I will put a link anchor, and we will say I will keep back to what? Products. Back to products. Here we will use, what is it? Router link. It should go back to which one? Home. Absolute path. Don't forget slash. Otherwise it will add to current path, right? That means now there is an option here. Back to products will be there. I click on back to products. It will get back to the home and it will display those products there. You don't need to click on home everywhere. So you just can put a back option. Now I click here, detail of any product, then it will get the number here. You can see number. Now what is our responsibility? In details component, we have to collect this parameter, search for that particular ID product and display the details. Am I right? Now let's go to details component TS file. In details component TS file, we have to collect the parameter. How to collect parameter? You need to import. You need to import home. You need to import activated route. Activated route from which location? Angular router. From Angular router, we have to import activated route. Now here we will define. So ng, so implements what? On init. It implements on init. On init. Okay. Yeah. So it implements on init. Which one? That is not imported, right? So on init. Yeah. So we are importing on init. So on init we are defining and we put ng on init. Okay. Here we will create. I need to get that specific product. That means we will create public. It is what type? Product type. It is what type? Fake store contract. Na? It is fake store contract. It is fake store contract type. And it is an object. It is just an object. Actually, initially it can be what type? Fake store contract type, or it can be what? Null. So default it can be what? Null. That means initially it is not having any value. Later we can put some value into this. Now what should happen? We have to use constructor. In the constructor, we need to inject service. What is that service? Private route. It is of what type? Activated route. It is of type activated route. We need to define route, activated route. Now, what should happen is we need to collect the route parameter. We need to collect the route parameter and we need to display only the product that belongs to that. Then what we have to do? So we can use like this on initialization. Temporarily, I'm using this dot route dot. You have snapshot dot param map dot get, and get which parameter ID. It is going to return that particular ID which one user is looking for. We need to filter only the product that belongs to ID. We need to filter only the product that belongs to ID. So if you already have such service, you can implement. Otherwise, you have to write. That means let's go to our service. In the services, what is the service? Fake store service. In this, what are the methods we are having? We are having get products, we are having get categories, and we are having specific category. But there is no specific product. Na? We will create one more method then. We will create another method. So public, what is it? Get product. I will give get product. And it is expecting ID. ID is what type? Number type. It is expecting an ID. And it should be what? It should be observable. Am I right? It is an observable. Observable what type? Fake store product contract type. It is an observable. Then it should return this dot HTTP dot get. Get what? Fake store product contract type. And what is the data we have to give? http:// fake store api.com/products. Actually better to use a backtick. So better to use a backtick. And here we need to define products / here we need to put a binding expression, the ID. Whatever the ID they passed, it should get that. It should get that particular product related information. So we created a service. Now we can use that service method in details component. So here already in constructor, you injected a service. Can you inject multiple services? Yes. We can just put a comma, another one. What is it? Private. This is what type? Data. It is what type? Fake store service. It is fake store service. Now what we can do is by using that you can fetch the data. How we can handle that? This dot data dot what? Get product. Which product? Product ID. Product ID is coming from this dot. So here route dot snapshot dot param map dot what? Get what? ID. We need to put the ID. The parameter is ID. This is ID. But actually this is the ID. But generally what happens is this is returning, every route parameter is returned in a string form. But what is the method expecting? Number. It is expecting a number. You know how to convert now? You know how to convert. What you have to do? Parse int. Convert this ID into a number. Understood? Otherwise, you can do one thing. Instead of doing this, simply you can here first declare a variable ID. What is it? Parse int. What to get here? So this dot route dot snapshot dot what is it? Param map dot get. Get what? ID. It should get that ID related product and display. Right? It is going to access that. And why it is showing error? It is saying it is null. It is displaying null. Where it is null? Where we created null. Okay, here we will do one thing, because in the fake store service, this is what type? String type. It is a string type because here it is returning. And in this, it is a string type. What we have to do, this dot route dot snapshot dot paramap dot get name. Name is what? ID. Still it is having some problem. Acha, it is saying string or null not assignable. That means this parameter having problem. That means let's go to the observable. What is the observable? It is returning this observable is a fake store contract type. It should be what type? Actually, only one object it is returning. So we will use here. This is a null. I will define that null. This is null. And here Null not assignable. This is returning null. Let's check. We will first check, is it returning correctly value or not? I will just use ID. I will just put a public. It is ID. ID is what type? It is string or what type? Null. And it is default what? Null. Okay, now we will access this dot ID is equal to this dot route dot snapshot dot param map dot get what? ID. It is okay. Okay, now we will access that here. This fake store service is expecting a product contract type. It should directly return it. Now here we will define, yeah, what is it? This dot data dot get product. Get product is expecting ID, right? What is the ID we need to pass? Whatever this dot ID dot what? Subscribe. Again, this problem is same. Where this problem occurring? Here data type problem. Which location it is showing? ID string or null? ID is string and it is an empty string. Okay, then let's keep any type, because it is not having the type. Subscribe is the method. It should get the data. This data should be applied. This dot product is equal to what? Whatever data. Okay, now we will define this here. What is the data type? Now product contains the data which should display here. I will add a simple heading. The heading indicates what is it? Product details. Here we will put a data list. In the data term, we will say here one is title. I want to get the title of the product. Then how do we access that here? So we need to define product. Product is the object dot what? Title. That is the property we have to define. Product dot title. It is not assigning that here. Where? It is default using null. Somewhere in our service we are having a problem. Let me check that. Or here a product contract type. This is an object type. This object is having what? ID. ID is initially 0. Another one, title is string. Another one, description is also string. Price is a number. Another one is rating is an object that have rate 0. Count is 0. Anything else missing? Image is what type? String. Category is also string type. This is the contract type. Now the product title. Let's run this. That is working fine. Okay. Only the point is actually what it is doing is we are using a contract. Na? When you are using a contract, it is in contract. We haven't mentioned all these nullable. We said mandatory. Na? Because in the contract I never mentioned them nullable. Then what problem? All must be initialized some value. If you put all question mark, then what it will do? It will make it as nullable. So it's not necessary to mention them. But in the contract where I created, where is the contracts? So in the contract where we created this contract, we have not made them nullable. Na? If I don't make them nullable, I need to initialize some value. That is the problem it is showing. It is saying that you haven't mentioned nullable properties, but they are null. Initially, they are null. So that is the reason you can do one thing. You can directly put question mark for all of them, or you can just use nullable. Okay. So, or you can just mention this, then it will be fine. Okay. Now, what we do, let's go. I am displaying only the details title. Okay. Another one. What is it? Price. Price. I am defining the price. And here I will display product. Product dot what? Price. Another data term here we are giving rating. And data definition here we have product dot rating dot what? Rate. And here I am just adding a span. So we will put a span here. And what is that? Class BI star fill like this. Now you can see this is all the details of that particular product to display. It is showing the product details and of that particular product. I will go back here now. I will click on back to products. It will get back to products. And I click on any product, then that product detail should come and display here. It is going to load that product detail and display. Now, what should happen here? Okay, product detail is coming, but the photo is not coming. Now, what I want to do is when I click on that here, I will put a preview button. When I click on preview button, it should show the preview of that particular product. That means product have more details. Generally, you see websites, what they do, they say they will show some details and they will put a button more. And when user clicks on more, what should happen? It should give more details about the product. More details means we want to show the photo and we want to show the description about the product. That means what should happen here? Under this, I will keep another option, another data definition. Here, I will put a link. I will give the word as more. Now, what should happen when user clicks on this more? This product related details should display in another component and more details. That means now we need to transport from this component to another. We need to transport from this component to another. But here important is here, what should happen when user clicks on more? When user clicks on more, generally this component will go and the next component will come. There it will display more details. But I want to display these more details here only. That means the more details must come here only. That means in this path, you see already there is a path. Currently, which one it is showing? Third. Here we have to add one more. And what this more have to do, it should get more details of the product and display. This is called nested routes, child routes. Child routes means within route, another route. Within the route, you can define another route. Actually, what happens? from one route to another route. We will navigate from one place to another. But we need to bring the other contents in the same location and display relative routes. Then we have to use child routes. That means now what should happen is in the details only. So we will add more related component also. In that more component, what should happen? It should display more details. Let's add one more component. ng generate component Amazon. Amazon what? More details and skip tests. We are adding more details. We are defining more details. Okay, now how this should work? This should work within details. Within details, more details should work. And how you can get the details of that particular product? Again, by using its ID, we can filter, right? Again, by ID. So let's go to the routing now. Go to the route. In the routing module, this is the details component path. In the details component, there must be another one working. Then we have to put a comma after component. Then here we have to add another property called children. Children defines the child routes inside the route. That means in this location, another. And what is the children? Children is again an array. Children is an array. In this means it's a collection. In this, what is the route path? Route path, we will keep it as what? Slash more. More about which product? That means we have to pass colon. What is it? ID. That means the product related ID. Now, which component it should display? The component it should display, which component? Amazon more details component should display. And now the interesting point here, where it should display? It should display in the details component only beside this definition. That means right side. This should be left side, that will be right side. Then we will do one thing. We will keep this. I will select this. Okay. And we will keep in a container. In this, we will put a class. What is the class? Row. And here we will display class. This is call. This is call, suppose 3. And we have another div that is having the class call. And this is call class. So this is class column 3. And here we are defining the class as column 9. In column 3, these details will come, and the more details should display here. Na? That means this more is going to use a router link. That router link should go to the path, relative path, no slash now. Why? Because if you use slash, it becomes an absolute path. To the current path, it should add. Then where it has to go? It has to go to more slash. Into that, we have to pass the product ID. So the product dot what ID? We are passing the product ID. Now this result should display here. Na? Now here we have to put a router outlet again. That means the result of child routes should be displayed in this outlet. It should be displayed in the outlet. Now see here what happens. First, I will go to the home component and come here. Anything it may work, right? Let's run the home component and see. It's taking time. Oh, some problem is there. Some error. What is that? Route path not mentioned correctly. Slash I given before that. Fine. Route path I given wrong. Right. Now in the home component, now I will click on here details. I click on details, that will come. There is a more button. I click on more button, right side it will come. Understood? That means now you are using a route inside route. These are called child routes. And what we have to do, observe here, details of 3 and more of 3. More of 3. Now this 3 related more details you have to display here. That means we need to collect the parameter again here. Route parameter. That means how do we collect the route parameter? Let's go to the more details component now. Let's go to more details component dot ts. Here the same work you have to do. What you done for the details, the same work. Let's copy the code. For details, what work we have done, same. We have to copy all these one, right? And paste here. All those services are required. And in the details, what we done, we configured product, fake store, ID, constructor, activated route, everything same. I will copy that here. And here I will paste that. Only one thing extra we need to do is implement. Implements on init. So we have to import on init. Okay. Now here I need to copy the same logic here. All the product details are coming. Okay. All the product related information you are gathering here. Based on same, what is the route parameter we are accessing? ID, the specific product detail. And in the HTML page, more details HTML page. Here we want to display what? Just put a div. In the div, we want to display its preview. The preview is, we will keep another div. And here we will put a class, margin bottom sum 4. Here we will put an image. And what will be the image source? Image source is coming from what? Product dot what? Image. So here we will keep width as 200 or 300 and height also 300. And what we will do here below that, so a div. And in this div, I will put class margin top 2 or 1. Here we will put a text area. You know, text area can display multi-line text. In this, what we will do, we will put product dot description. We will put the product description. This text area will have rows, some 4. So calls, some 40. And we will keep here one more is disabled, so that user can just only read. User cannot modify those details, right? That's now these are the details to be displayed for that particular product and show. So accessing the product related information and displaying, and here it will display that product details and show. This is description. Now actually from here you can set back also now. That means when user clicks back, then it will get back to what? Products. That is already there, right? At the bottom. At the bottom it is already there. So I click on this back to products, or I will keep this area. Where is that details HTML? This I will keep under this outlet or above this outlet, right? Anywhere you can give that. Then what happens is the back to products option will be displayed at the top. Okay. Now when I click on back to products, back to products. You see it get back to products. I click on any product details, it will get the details. In the details, more details not there now. When those will come when you click on more. I click on more, then those details will open here. This is a route inside route. Route inside route. We call them as what? Child routes. This is how actually your single page websites are designed. Now, what is the specialty here is, see, it is user friendly here. I will remove this. See what I am typing. In the URL, I am typing slash, what is it? Details, details slash 4 slash more slash 4, and I hit enter. It will directly get that product. You can exactly get the product what you are looking for. That is what I said. That is user friendly URLs. It is easy for any user to query directly from the URL. That means we can easily access and we can display. This is the basic approach you need to know. So technically, how we can filter the data. I click on any product, the product will open here, and I click on more, the more details of product will come here. Right? Like this, you can handle any levels of navigation. That means inside this again route. Suppose I clicked more, then it says only photo. In that photo, you can put again description. When user clicks description, that description can open right side. You can add any levels of routes like that. We call them as what? Child routes. And this is what actually relative paths. These are relative paths, understand? That means more and 13. This is related to this. That is how we configure the child routes, right? This is in the routing concept, how the parent and child routes work. You see in the routing module, the parent route is defined like this. And when parent route is defined, so inside the parent route, again, child routes are configured. The child routes are configured by using which one? Children. This is one basic thing how we handle, right? I hope you understood. You need to practice this. First, you selected the main screen, home will come. Here all products are coming. User clicks on any specific product, then the product details will come. User wants more detail about the product, clicks on more, then the more detail will come. Right? And you can go back. I click on back to products and it will get back to the products. You can handle the navigation. So from one place to another. This is the routing concept. But actually, when you are dealing with this routing, your server side technologies have to teach you, because you have to learn APIs, web services, Java, .NET. You will learn services and web APIs. They will teach you server side routing. Server side also routing will be there. You will learn server side routing. Actually, when you are dealing with server side routing, we can handle the concept called, in the routes, we have a concept called route guards. Route guards. Route guards is nothing but any specific route. Any specific route means any specific path everybody cannot access. We want to restrict. That means, suppose I am giving some details like here, I am adding here, let's say one more component I will add, ng generate component. So Amazon admin component, I am giving skip tests. We are generating a component called admin, Amazon admin component. We will keep this in the routing. In the routing, we will add that admin component. So let's go to the routing. It is adding, right? Okay, once it is added, Now let's go here. I am adding another path. Anywhere you can add, but make sure that you are adding above the wildcard routes. Huh? So in the route path is admin. And what is the component? The component is what? Amazon admin. Admin component to be delivered. Now, very important in the index screen, where is the index? Our index is Amazon index. Na? In Amazon index, we will put at the top here, men's and all are there. Right side, at the end, I will give another link. What is that? Router link. Router link is what? Admin. I will say admin portal. I will say admin portal. You see here in this, there is an admin portal at the top. At the top, you will get an admin portal. You see admin portal. As of now, everybody can access it. Everybody can access this admin portal. Anybody clicks on it, it will open. But I don't want. I want only people with admin role to open it. That means in the applications, we have certain resources which we don't want everybody to watch. We want only the people with authorization to watch. That means actually your server side Java, .NET, PHP, Python, Node.js, these technologies will teach you how to create a registration form, how to create a database table for register, how to create a API for sending data into backend. That is all backend technologies, right? Then what they will do is when user clicks on admin portal, it will ask login. It will ask login. And user enters the correct credentials. After verifying his credentials only, that details will come. As of now, you see, I click on admin portal. It is working now. Anybody can access it. Now the question is how to prevent. How to prevent any route from being accessed. So to prevent any route from being accessed, actually for that we have to use route guards. We have to use route guards. First, I will give here child routes. Child routes. A detailed notes I will upload with example. You can go through that. Child routes, how to define? You can define the path. In the path, you have to define path is parent. In this, you have a component. Component is what? Parent component. After that, comma, we have to add what? Children. Children is an array, right? In this children array, we need to define the path. That means in the children array, again, we need to configure the path. This is child and this is component. Which component? Child component. Child component. That is how we generally mention parent and child. Now, another point is we have another option is route guards. Route guards advantage is route guard is nothing but, so route guard will not allow every user to access the route. Will not allow every user to access the route. That means you can set authentication for routes. We can set authentication for routes. How to generate these guards? Just you have to generate the guard like this. So ng generate guard. Ng generate guard and the guard name. Guard name is for whom it is generating. It is for whom? Amazon whom? Admin. For Amazon admin, you are generating a guard. Script test is same, right? That means it will going to generate a guard. But when you add guard, it will ask questions. For which purpose you want to use this guard? Actually, guard is used for a lot of purpose. Like one purpose is to enter into route. Another purpose to come out of the route. That means you want to add the guard to enter into route or come out of the route. You might have seen some websites, user cannot go back or user cannot go to next, user cannot go to the previous. Majority you see online exam sites. When you give online exam sites, user can't go back. No back option. You have to go to next only. That means they will give you in such a way that once you enter into a route, you cannot come back. That is what we can control. That means it will ask, do you want to restrict for entering or you want to restrict for coming out? User cannot come out once he goes in. He will need to go to next. Right? This is very commonly seen in online exams and all these sites. User cannot come out of that route. That is what important. So here, what we have to do, we need to add a guard. Let's see. We will add a guard. So actually developers have a separate folder. Huh? We will put a folder called what? Guards. I will put a guards folder, and into that guards folder, open in integrated terminal and generate this. Here, what is it? ng generate guard. Guard for whom? So Amazon what? Admin. Skip test I am defining. That means it is adding a guard for Amazon admin. And when it is adding the guard, so it will ask you for which purpose you want to use. That means what is the purpose of this guard? So generally we use the purpose of the guard here. You see, it is asking, is it to activate? Can activate means enter into. Can activate child means enter into child. Is it a child path? Is it parent? If it is parent, activate. If it is child path, you are setting restricting to child path, then you have to select the second one. Can activate child. Can deactivate means? Can deactivate means come out. So this load and match, actually this match is for redirection. I showed you redirection, path match as full. That means if home is already loaded and you want to redirect to existing loaded one, we have to use what? Match, right? If the path is already loaded, you want to go to that, then you have to use which one? Match. And we have init. Init means they enter into it, but they cannot load it. That means whether to display the content inside it or not. That means they can enter into it, but they cannot see the data. To see the data, we can also use an option called can load. So here we have to select which one. I am selecting can activate. Okay. Now it is added. The guard is added. Once guard is added, later if you want, you can add that. That means it's not like you selected can activate, later you can't add others. You can add others. It is just nothing but it is a interface it implements actually. Let's go to the guard now. Let's see the guard. This is Amazon admin guard. And you see it is using this code. By seeing this code, what do you say? What is it? By seeing this code, what is it? Guard is what? Guard is a service, na? Am I right? Why you are saying it is a service? It is having injectable, na? Injectable means it is a service. It is a service. And see, it is already using RxJS. Yes, right? It is using RxJS. Now what it is having, see, it is having can activate. Can activate is a interface. You can implement multiple interfaces, and actually this can activate. You don't need to write so many. Usually can activate, you can see it is returning. This is the method. It is returning an asynchronous Boolean. So Boolean true, false. True indicates you can see. False indicates you can't see. You cannot see. That means it depends on true or false. That means it is returning true. That means everybody can watch. see how to write this. Actually, we have to simply write what is that? Can activate. Can activate. It is using lot of na. You don't need all of them actually. Just let me write manually. Can activate. Can activate. It just needs what type? Boolean. Better we give asynchronous means what? Observable. Observable what type? Boolean type. Boolean type. That means it should return. It should return a Boolean true or false. This is enough actually. Before returning true or false, you can see it says it is not assignable to observable Boolean. Why? Because this is actually nullable type or Boolean types. So you can just keep what to return? Boolean. That means we can just keep it as what type? Boolean. Boolean type means by default it is observable. That means it is using what? Asynchronous, right? Actually, this is enough. This indicates that what? This indicates that it will allow. Let's put false. False means it will not allow. But remember, you designed a guard, but it is not working. To which route this guard should be applied? To which route this guard should be applied? You have to go to app routing module. In app routing module, to which path you have to apply? Admin. To admin, you have to use an option. These are attributes. You have an option. You see, can activate. Can activate. That decision is taken by whom? That decision is taken by Gardener. What is the guard name? Guard name is what? Amazon. 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 What is it? Admin guard. This is going to take the decision. That means it is going to take the decision. And actually, can activate is an array. You can see it is an array. Array means how to write them. You have to put them in a square brace. That means one can have several guards. One for activate, one for deactivate. You can define multiple guards. That is the reason it is array. Now, what is this? Can activate is returning. This guard is returning false now. Okay, if it is returning false, you see here now, I am selecting home. That means the home path will come. That means it is going to display the home details. Yeah. Now it is taking time to load. Fine. Now what happens here is I click on details. The details of the product will come. Everything is working. But when I click on admin, you see, I click on admin. It's not working. That means admin is not working. I am unable to access that. That's not working. Why? Because the guard is returning false. Okay, let's go. Let's go and change this guard. Where is the guard? Amazon admin guard. What it should return? It should return what? True. This guard is returning true. If the guard is returning true, okay, let's click that admin portal and see again. Currently we are in details now. I click on admin portal, it will show. That means depending on true or false. Now generally what we do is we create a registration login form. After user login, we will verify and display those details. For that, a backend technology is required. Anyhow, here, if you want user to go to login, that means everybody cannot directly open. Whenever he opens, automatically it should go to which one? Login. That means admin login portal should come. That means when anybody selects admin, it should automatically go to login. Then you can design a login screen and you can configure. That means here we have to put some conditions. What are the conditions to define? We will say that if role is admin, then return true. Otherwise, return false. right? Based on that, we will manage. Usually what we do is, so when user defines, let's add one more component. Lot of logic is required. We will generate a component here. So see the component ng generate component. What is it? Login, Amazon login, right? Amazon login. So skip test. Actually, you can add a separate login page, or directly we can keep in the admin itself the login screen, right? Login screen. So from there, user can navigate. That means where is Amazon admin component? In the component Amazon admin component, what we will do here, we will display a heading. We'll display heading Amazon home. Okay. Amazon admin home. This is admin home, but it should open and display only when user is successfully logged in as admin. Otherwise, it should navigate to which page? Login page. Let's go to the login page. Temporarily in the login page, I'm adding a simple list like login and data list. So I defined a data term, some user name, and data definition input type text. Nothing logically required, just design. I am creating password. And data definition input type is equal to what? Password. And one more, we will put a button here as login. And here there must be login related information in router. You go to routing module. In the routing module, every route must have a configuration. That means here we need to write one more path. What is the path? This path is what? Login. And which component to display? Amazon what? Login component to display. That's how we need to define. Now see here, let's go to the guard. Where is the guard? This is the guard. Here actually we will put simple public role, user role. Okay, user role is what type? String. By default, the role of user is customer. I'm writing like this. Actually, this is provided by your API server side. Okay. Now here we will write a condition. What is the condition? So actually this is can activate. Originally this can activate. So can activate. So it is returning all the details, right? It is what type? So it is what type? Boolean. It is a Boolean type. And here it should use a condition. If what is it? This dot user role is equal to what? Admin. If it is not equal to admin, that means if it is not equal to admin, what should happen? If it is not equal to admin, it should navigate. It should navigate to which page? Login. So dynamically how to navigate from one page to another? To dynamically navigate from one page to another, you need another service constructor. In the constructor, you have to inject a service private. You need a service called router. We have a router service. This router service you have to implement from Angular router. Understood? So from Angular router, you have to import router service. What this router service can do is, if it is not admin, this dot router can navigate. Navigate to which path? You can define the path in a square brace. You have to tell the path name. Which one? Login. So that means it should navigate to login. It should go to the login. Otherwise, that means if it is not equal to admin, otherwise what it should do? It should return. It should return what? True. Understood? That means if it is customer is admin, means user role is admin, then what it will do? It will return true. If it is not equal to admin, or what it will do? it will navigate to login. It will navigate to login. This is the conditions, the how we write. Generally what happens usually in this is when user clicks on home, this home is coming. And when user clicks on admin portal, and automatically it will go to the login screen. It will go to login. Why it will go to login? Because the customer role is customer na. Let's say the role is admin. Understood? If the role is admin, let's check this now. I have to refresh the page. If role is admin, then what should happen? If role is admin and the user clicks on admin portal, it should get to admin home. If role is not admin, automatically it will take to which page? Login. That means here we are navigating to login if it is not admin. If it is not admin, that means user role is what? Suppose it is customer. If user role is customer, then automatically anybody tries to access that admin, it will go to login. It will not stay in admin anymore. It will automatically go to login. So that means you are adding a route guard. This route guard, you cannot open this anymore. Generally what we do, we will ask username and password and login. We will verify in the database, is that user is admin or not? If that user is admin, then return true. Otherwise return false. This requires backend technologies. Right here we cannot show you all that, because for that you need knowledge of backend. Right, APIs and any backend like JSP, PHP or .NET, you need to learn APIs. Then you can manage this functionality. But in Angular, we can teach you how to design a guard. So later this will be helpful when you are integrating Angular with your technologies, right? So this is important. So what are the routes, how to define the routes, and how to create the route guards. This is a complete end-to-end example of navigation, creating a single page application. Understood? Right? Once you know this, now one more topic is there that we will see in our next session. Tomorrow we will have a session. Right? In tomorrow's session, we will finish the concept. Right? In tomorrow's session, we will discuss about deployment. Deployment and testing. These two things I will show you in tomorrow's session. In deployment and testing, deployment means how to make this live. That means our projects can go live. We can publish on cloud, and we can do testing. Testing is how to test the application step by step, how we can test the applications, right? We can see that we'll see in tomorrow's session. Okay, na? Right? Tomorrow we will have same time, right? Same time we will have the session. And if you want, offline people also can attend online, right? If you are willing to come offline, we will conduct an offline. Otherwise, you can directly attend online. I will post the online link tomorrow, right? Online link tomorrow, you can directly attend online. These two topics we will finish online. Okay, na? With that, we will finish all the concepts. Okay. Then tomorrow we will have 9 o'clock online session. Okay, I will post the link into Classroom. You join from there. Okay, right. Yeah.